Imagine standing at the base of a mountain. You could try to climb it alone, relying only on your own strength, your own knowledge, your own willpower. But there's a problem. You can't see the whole path. The terrain is rough, the climb is steep, and the higher you go, the more uncertain everything becomes. Now imagine turning around and seeing a group of people ready to climb with you. Some have walked this path before. Some are great at finding shortcuts. Others simply offer encouragement when the journey gets hard. Suddenly, that mountain doesn't seem so impossible anymore. We live in a world that often celebrates individual success. We admire the lone genius who creates something revolutionary, the self-made entrepreneur who rises from nothing, or the athlete who dominates their sport. The message is clear. Work hard, rely on yourself, and you'll achieve greatness. But when we look deeper, when we study the greatest achievements in history, we see a different truth. No one truly succeeds alone. Behind every inventor is a team that helped refine the idea. Behind every successful business is a group of people who believed in a vision and made it a reality. Behind every champion is a coach, a mentor, and a support system that pushed them to reach their full potential. Unity is the foundation of real success. It is what allows ideas to flourish, movements to grow, and progress to be sustained. When people come together with a shared purpose, their combined efforts create something far greater than what any one person could achieve alone. Think about the tallest trees in a forest. Their branches stretch high into the sky, but their strength comes from what lies beneath the surface. Their roots. These roots intertwine, creating a vast underground network that allows trees to share nutrients, support one another during storms, and survive in even the harshest conditions. Alone, a tree is vulnerable. Together, they create an ecosystem that thrives. The same is true for us. The most successful organizations, the strongest communities, and the most impactful teams understand that unity is their greatest advantage. When people work together, they amplify each other's strengths and compensate for each other's weaknesses. A diverse team of individuals, each bringing their unique skills, experiences, and perspectives, can solve problems in ways that no single person ever could. Consider an orchestra. A violin alone can produce a beautiful melody, but it is limited in range. A piano has depth, but lacks the resonance of brass instruments. A drum provides rhythm, but cannot carry a tune. However, when these instruments come together under a common purpose, they create music that moves people, that inspires, that has power beyond what any single instrument could achieve alone. This is the essence of unity, not just working alongside others, but working with others in a way that enhances everyone's ability to contribute their best. Yet unity is not just about efficiency or productivity. It is about resilience. When challenges arise, as they always do, unity is what determines whether we stand or fall. A single stick can be snapped easily, but a bundle of sticks, bound together, is nearly unbreakable. When people support one another, when they lift each other up instead of competing to tear each other down, they create an environment where everyone has a greater chance of success. History has proven this time and time again. The greatest social movements, the ones that changed the world, were never the work of a single individual. Martin Luther King Jr. did not march alone. Gandhi did not fight for freedom alone. The most transformative changes in society have always been the result of people coming together, united by a shared belief, a shared vision, a shared determination to create something better. Unity also fosters innovation. When people collaborate, they challenge each other's thinking, they refine ideas, they build upon each other's strengths. The most groundbreaking advancements in science, technology, and medicine were not made by isolated individuals, but by teams who worked together, who shared knowledge, who combined their efforts to achieve what once seemed impossible. But unity is not always easy. It requires trust. It requires communication. It requires putting aside egos and personal agendas for the greater good. It requires the humility to recognize that we are stronger together than we could ever be alone. In a world that often teaches us to compete, to stand out, to prioritize individual success, choosing unity is an act of courage. It is a choice to build rather than divide, to collaborate rather than isolate, to understand that our greatest potential is unlocked when we stand together. Trust is the foundation of any meaningful relationship, whether in business, friendships, families, or teams. Without trust, collaboration breaks down, communication suffers, and progress becomes slow, if not impossible. Support, on the other hand, is the action that reinforces trust. It is the act of standing beside someone, lifting them up when they fall, and giving them the confidence to take risks without the fear of being left behind. Together, trust and support create an environment where people can thrive, innovate, and grow. Trust is not something that happens overnight. It is built over time through consistency, honesty, and vulnerability. When people know they can rely on one another, when they feel safe to express their ideas, admit their mistakes, or ask for help without fear of judgment, that is when true progress happens. Without this foundation, people hold back, they hesitate, they operate from a place of self-preservation rather than shared purpose. In a workplace, trust is what allows people to collaborate effectively. A team that lacks trust will be plagued by miscommunication, second-guessing, and a fear of failure. Employees will feel the need to constantly prove themselves rather than focus on doing their best work. They will hesitate to share ideas, worried that they will be criticized rather than supported. However, in an environment of trust, people feel empowered. They know their voices are valued, that their contributions matter, and that their team members have their back. This leads to better decision-making, greater innovation, and a stronger sense of belonging. Support is what transforms trust from an idea into action. It is one thing to say you trust someone, but it is another to show up for them when they need you. Support is about being there in both the good times and the bad. It means celebrating victories together, but more importantly, standing firm when things go wrong. Consider a sports team. The best teams don't win because they have a single superstar. They win because they function as a unit. If one player stumbles, their teammates step in. If someone is struggling, others offer encouragement. Every great athlete, no matter how talented, has reached their success because of the support system around them. Coaches, trainers, teammates, and even family members who pushed them forward when they wanted to give up. This applies to all areas of life. In families, trust and support create a sense of security. Children thrive when they know their parents believe in them, when they feel supported in their dreams and reassured in their failures. In friendships, trust and support create lifelong bonds. The strongest friendships are not the ones where people only show up for the fun times, but the ones where they stand by each other through struggles, heartbreaks, and uncertainties. Trust also requires vulnerability. It means allowing others to see our weaknesses, admitting when we need help, and being willing to rely on others. This can be difficult in a world that often tells us to be independent, to handle everything on our own, and to never show weakness. But the truth is, the strongest people are not those who stand alone. They are those who know when to lean on others and allow others to lean on them in return. Support, in turn, is not just about offering help, but also about recognizing when someone needs it before they even ask. It's about paying attention, about listening, about being willing to step in when someone is struggling, even when they try to hide it. Sometimes, support comes in the form of encouragement, a simple reminder that someone is not alone in their journey. Other times it means taking action, offering real assistance, and being a source of strength when someone feels like they are at their weakest. When trust and support exist in a relationship, in a team, in a community, extraordinary things happen. People take risks knowing they won't be punished for failure. They step out of their comfort zones knowing that someone will be there to catch them if they fall. They work together, not out of obligation, but out of a shared commitment to something greater than themselves. Struggle is a universal experience. No one, no matter how talented, intelligent, or strong, goes through life without facing obstacles. Challenges test our limits, force us to grow, and push us beyond our comfort zones. But there is a fundamental truth that often gets overlooked. Struggles become more bearable, more meaningful, and ultimately more rewarding when they are shared. Success is often portrayed as an individual pursuit. We see stories of self-made entrepreneurs, lone athletes defying the odds, and solitary geniuses who seem to achieve greatness by themselves. But when we look closer, we see that behind every success story is a group of people who contributed, supported, and endured the journey together. The reality is that no one truly succeeds alone. Every meaningful achievement is built on the foundation of collective effort, shared struggles, and mutual perseverance. When people face difficulties together, something powerful happens. The weight of the challenge is distributed. No longer is one person carrying the entire burden alone. Instead, the group carries it together, making it lighter for everyone involved. In the process, trust deepens, relationships strengthen, and a sense of belonging is created. Shared struggles unite people in a way that easy times never could. Consider the way a military unit functions. Soldiers who train and fight side by side develop an unbreakable bond. The hardships they endure together, long nights, physical exhaustion, and the mental strain of battle forge a deep sense of loyalty. They become more than just teammates. They become family. They know that their survival and success depend on their ability to work together, to lift one another up, and to push forward even when everything feels impossible. The same principle applies in business. The most successful companies are not those where individuals compete against each other for recognition, but those where people work together, supporting one another through challenges. When employees share struggles, tight deadlines, high-pressure projects, moments of uncertainty, they also share the victories that follow. And those victories feel bigger, more meaningful, because they were earned together. In sports, teams that fight through adversity together often experience the deepest levels of camaraderie. When a team loses, they lose together. The struggle of training, the pain of defeat, and the joy of triumph all contribute to a shared experience that binds them in ways that individual success never could. Ask any championship-winning team what made their victory so special, and they won't just talk about the trophy. They'll talk about the difficult moments they overcame as a unit, the times they had to lean on one another, the setbacks that made them stronger, and the shared sacrifices that made the reward all the more satisfying. Shared struggles create shared purpose. When people work toward a common goal and face hardships together, their motivation shifts. It's no longer just about personal gain, it becomes about the group, the mission, the bigger picture. This is why movements that change the world, civil rights movements, humanitarian efforts, and groundbreaking social changes, are always fueled by communities, not individuals. The people involved endure hardship together, sacrifice together, and ultimately succeed together. There is also an emotional component to shared struggles. Facing challenges alone can be isolating, draining, and overwhelming, but when those struggles are shared, they become less daunting. There is comfort in knowing that someone else understands, that someone else is fighting the same battle. This emotional connection can be the difference between giving up and pushing forward. Shared success, then, is not just about reaching the finish line. It is about the journey, about the bonds formed along the way, about the stories created through shared effort. The joy of victory is amplified when it is celebrated with those who endured the hardships with you. It is the knowledge that none of it would have been possible alone, that every person played a role, that every struggle had meaning because it was experienced together. The greatest achievements in life are not measured by individual accomplishments, but by what is built, endured, and celebrated together. Leadership is often misunderstood. Many believe it is about power, authority, or being the one in charge. Some think leadership is about making decisions, giving orders, or being the smartest person in the room. But real leadership is not about status or control, it is about service. It is about putting others before yourself, creating an environment where people can thrive, and ensuring that those you lead feel valued, supported, and empowered. At its core, leadership is not about you. It is about the people you serve. The best leaders do not seek personal gain, they seek to lift others up. They do not stand above their team, they stand beside them, working together toward a shared vision. They do not demand respect, they earn it by their actions. Leadership is not about being at the top, it is about making sure no one is left behind. A true leader understands that their role is to create conditions for success, not to claim success for themselves. They remove obstacles, provide guidance, and foster an atmosphere of trust and support. They recognize that leadership is not about being served, but about serving. The moment a leader starts thinking that people work for them, instead of them working for their people, they have already failed. History has shown that the greatest leaders were those who led through service, not command. Think of leaders who inspired lasting change, people who moved nations, built movements, and transformed industries. They did not lead through fear or intimidation. They led through humility, empathy, and a deep commitment to those they served. They did not seek credit, they sought progress. They were not driven by personal ambition, but by the desire to make a difference in the lives of others. One of the most important aspects of servant leadership is listening. A leader who does not listen is not leading, they are simply commanding. Listening allows a leader to understand the needs of their people, to recognize their struggles, and to provide the right kind of support. It is not about having all the answers. It is about creating an environment where the best answers can emerge. Leadership is also about trust. People do not follow because they are told to. They follow because they believe in their leader, and belief is built through consistent action. When a leader shows up for their team, when they put people first, when they demonstrate integrity and care, trust is formed. And with trust comes loyalty, commitment, and a willingness to go the extra mile. Service-driven leadership also means leading by example. A leader cannot ask for hard work if they are not willing to put in the effort themselves. They cannot demand honesty if they do not practice it. They cannot expect accountability if they do not hold themselves accountable first. People do not follow words, they follow actions. And the best leaders inspire through what they do, not just what they say. Another key element of servant leadership is empowerment. A leader's job is not to control every decision, but to equip people with the tools, knowledge, and confidence to make decisions themselves. It is about creating other leaders, not followers. When people feel trusted and empowered, they take ownership of their work. They contribute with passion and creativity. They do not just work for a leader, they work with them because they feel valued and capable. True leadership is not about titles or authority. It is about impact. It is about how many lives you improve, how many people you help grow, and how many individuals feel inspired because of your action. A leader's success is not measured by their personal achievements, but by the success of those they lead. Leadership through service is not always easy. It requires humility, patience, and selflessness. It requires putting aside ego and recognizing that leadership is not about being the hero. It is about helping others become heroes themselves. It is about creating a culture where people feel safe to take risks, to innovate, and to reach their full potential. Great leaders do not chase power, they embrace responsibility. They understand that the true test of leadership is not how many people serve them, but how many people they serve. Legacy is often thought of as something left behind by an individual, a name that is remembered, a personal achievement that stands the test of time, or a story that continues to be told. But true legacy is never built alone. It is not about a single person's success or the recognition they receive. Legacy is about impact, about the lives we touch, and about the collective effort that creates something greater than any one individual could achieve alone. The most enduring legacies are not about one person's accomplishments, but about what was built, nurtured, and passed forward through generations. They are about shared dreams, shared struggles, and shared victories. Whether in families, businesses, communities, or movements, legacy is the result of people coming together with a common purpose and contributing in ways that extend beyond their own lifetime. Think about the greatest inventions, the most transformative social changes, the institutions that have stood the test of time. None of these were the result of a single individual's efforts. Even when history gives credit to one name, the truth is that behind every great achievement there was a team, a network, a group of people working together toward a vision. The Wright brothers didn't build flight alone. They learned from the engineers, dreamers, and thinkers before them. Steve Jobs didn't revolutionize technology in isolation. He had a team of visionaries, designers, and engineers who brought ideas to life. Martin Luther King Jr. didn't march alone. He was surrounded by thousands who shared his mission and made the movement unstoppable. Legacy is about the ripple effect, how what we do today influences those who come after us. The best leaders, the best innovators, the best change makers understand that their role is not just to achieve, but to enable others to continue the work long after they are gone. They do not seek to be the sole architect of success. They seek to build something that lasts. Something that others can carry forward, improve upon, and expand. In business, the strongest companies are not built on the genius of one founder, but on the collective contributions of a team. A great leader does not just focus on personal success, but ensures that the next generation is prepared to lead, that knowledge is shared, and that the culture of excellence continues long after they have moved on. In families, legacy is not about wealth or reputation. It is about values, lessons, and traditions that are passed down. A strong family legacy is built through love, support, and the principles instilled in each generation. It is not about what is left for people, but what is left in them, the character, resilience, and wisdom that shape their lives. The same applies to communities. The most vibrant, thriving communities are those where people invest in each other, where knowledge, resources, and opportunities are shared. A community's legacy is determined by how well it lifts people up, how it fosters growth, and how it creates pathways for the next generation to succeed. Legacy is also about mentorship, about recognizing that part of our responsibility is to teach, guide, and support others. The greatest mentors understand that their true success is not measured by their own achievements, but by the success of those they have helped along the way. When people take the time to mentor, to coach, to pass on their knowledge, they ensure that progress does not stop with them. Building a legacy together requires a shift in mindset. It means letting go of ego and embracing the idea that the best things in life are created through collective effort. It means prioritizing long-term impact over short-term recognition. It means understanding that the mark we leave on the world is not about how high we climb, but how many people we bring with us. It is easy to chase personal success, but true fulfillment comes from knowing that what we build will continue to grow, evolve, and inspire even after we are gone. The most meaningful legacies are not written in history books with a single name at the top. They are lived out in the actions, choices, and contributions of the many who carried the vision forward.